I'm kind of in between jobs right now, and kind of during this time we're a little strapped for cash and encouraged to be more frugal with our spending. And so, sorry, Zelda is currently digging at a corner for some reason. Come here. The challenge we have taken on to kind of help with our spending is kind of just using up what we've got in the fridge and the pantry, being more creative, using up our freezer stuff, because Lord knows I've got a bunch of things in there for later that I've not been using. And so actually what we're going to be doing today is making some mac and cheese using a sauce that I started and stored in the freezer a while ago. So I'll start by boiling some pasta, which we've got left over. It's not macaroni pasta, whatever you call this. It's this pasta. It'll do good to hold sauce, and I can thin out the sauce a little more to make it kind of seep in the tinier crevices better. Yeah, so I set the water to boil. The mix that I need is it's a cottage cheese based mix. It's got some cauliflower in here as well as some spices. I did make it for specifically mac and cheese. It has a strong cauliflower smell, so I'll see if I can add some more cheese to it. I've also got some broccoli, maybe, that I can use. They're like mini trees. So we've got broccoli. Broccoli's a little old, so I'm gonna put it in it now. Should probably wash it. We've got our pasta, sauce, veggies, and got this sliced up mix of pepperjack and cheddar that's kind of tossed in some milk paprika that I've had in the fridge for a minute, so I can top it with that. I do like baked mac and cheese better than regular mac and cheese, so that'll be good. And then we've also got some mozzarella somewhere in here. And then we've got some sausage, chicken sausages that I can add in as well. And this is just a little cooking snack that I wanted because I'm hungry. So while we wait for the water to boil, let me tell you about myself. I'm a dietitian, and I love cooking food. I can never follow a recipe to the T. And also, a lot of times I feel like as I'm cooking, there are flavor combinations that come out, or I don't have all of the ingredients, and I'm not going out of my way to buy an ingredient just for this one recipe that is, And so I like to get creative with things and bend the rules a little. I have a dog. She's very anxious, and I rescued her. She did not rescue me, but she's chill, even though she's anxious all the time. Um, I'm also like incredibly awkward, so I really don't know why I'm making this video. I really don't have a stage presence. What I do have is a lovely garden, and then I've had some success with this year. Alright. Water's beginning to boil. I'll salt it a little. I've got a little in-season salt situation. And then I'm gonna wash the broccoli and toast that up with some chicken sausages. Oh, another thing about me, in addition to never following a recipe to the T, is that I don't do mise en place. This recipe is probably the closest to it that I've ever done because I already have everything in place and like ready, but this isn't normal for me. I kind of just go around and look at what I've got and try to make it work. Hey Google, set a timer for 6.5 minutes. I like to do low waste cooking, so I use as much of my veggies as possible. Honestly, this is the part people normally use, but in general, I think broccoli stalks are delicious. They just need a little extra time under the fire to get all nice and gloopy. Thin, like this, or ideally thinner. But again, I'm no chef. Although I'm not a chef, I do think that one of the best things you can have in your house, if you're going to cook, is a nice knife that can get nice and sharp. Like this one, it comes with its own sharpening thingy. It makes cooking so much easier. And honestly, we only have 2 knives in the house. This and one other one. Hey Google, stop timer. Alright, that's all of the broccoli. We're going to drain the pasta and most of this water. So that's good. It'll sit there. I cooked the broccoli first just because, again, I've only got 1 knife in the house. I'm not a professional chef. I'm not cooking for anybody. I do know food safety rules, but I wanted to do this before cutting the sausages so that I don't have to wash as much. And my sauce has already got, again, a bunch of flavors in there. You've got probably garlic, definitely black pepper and salt, and probably some mustard, if I'm not mistaken. So it should be pretty well seasoned. It's just a matter of combining everything together, getting a nice crisp. I've recently started using the stainless steel pan. I've never really been good at using those, but they have good cleaning tools. Barkeeper's Friend's a great one for that, and now have better knowledge on how to use it. Get it nice and hot, then make sure it's well oiled. But if you are cooking on high heat and things start to stick, I always just pour in a little bit of liquid of choice. Sometimes it's just water, sometimes it's wine, sometimes it's vinegar. Just gonna salt this a little bit. And then add in my oil. Now the pan is nice and hot. I'm going to add in as well the chicken sausages. These are chicken sausages from Costco. I couldn't tell you what flavor or what brand, but one of the Costco ones with the flavor is basil, parmesan, black pepper, something like that. Anyway, so I'm just gonna let that get a little thick and crispy, and then flip it over, get it thick and crispy on that side, add in the sauce, add in the pasta, stir it around a bit, and then probably just put it in the oven. Basically, right now, none of the chickens are jiggling, so I'm going to leave them there for a second more. So, laid everything flat on the pan. And fun fact, sometimes you'll assume something's going wrong when in fact you're just not using your eyeballs. So again, things are starting to stick. I've got some heavy cream. I will use that instead. And also I'm going to lower the heat. Yeah, great. That's picking up all the stuff. It's picking up the color. It's a nice browny color. Now I'm going to add in the broccoli tops. Probably not all of them though. Dog, do you mind? I'm too busy talking to myself right now to get some views. Dog. She's catching up for the last time. Today she actually went into the bathroom mistakenly and then closed the door behind her, but not like all the way, just ajar. And didn't whine or anything to get out. She just decided to lay down until someone came to her rescue, because inevitably someone's got to go to the bathroom. So about a few hours, yeah, I think probably an hour and a half of hearing nothing from her, I went around the house and saw that she wasn't in her usual spots, but in fact behind the bathroom door. And in the bathroom there are no windows leading to dogs, and there's no sounds in the house, and so she probably was just a little too calm for her liking at that time. I'm going to start adding in this sauce because the cream needs that fiber to bind to, so it won't break as much. The heavy cream is kind of starting to separate a bit. Plus the broccoli actually needs to absorb the juices as well. This probably isn't going to be mac and cheese per se, but rather a pasta dish of sorts. By the way, this is what the broccoli rounds look like cut. And they're nice and tender, and they have such a good flavor. Yeah. I wish there was a way to, through video, convey smell, because this smells really good right now. And now I'm actually going to add in a little more heavy cream, and then also some whole milk to bring in a little more liquid before adding the pasta. And then I'm going to bake it. Beautiful. Just how I was hoping that would go. There's the pasta water and a little extra pasta stuck at the bottom. I did say I was going to add whole milk. I probably still will. Just after adding the pasta, apparently. Add all the sauce and then add the whole milk here to clean it out. So the sauce was made, like I said, with cottage cheese, actual cheese, cauliflower, rice cauliflower blended up, and some herbs and spices. I do have some fresh garden oregano. Maybe I'll use some of that as well. And then I'm gonna use the cheese that the shredded cheese that I have on top before I put it in the oven. That's called the oven bake. 325. Yeah. My husband is a huge fan of whole milk, so we go in between buying whole milk and 2% milk from Costco. So we have fattier months and less fattier months. And by months I mean weeks, because we go through milk quite quickly, actually. By we I mean mostly him, but still. About 1.5 cups of milk added here. Not that I've measured anything else I'm adding, but just so you know. And then we're gonna get that to a bit of a boil so that the pasta can cook a smidge more. Do I regret some of my decisions here? Perhaps I have filled this pan entirely too much. No worries. I am gonna bake this open. I just want it to come to a nice simmer, and then I want the oven to preheat, and I'll put it in there. I'm gonna add a little bit of crushed pepper on top. For this, I know, just make sure, because I did add quite a bit of milk to everything. That was more like a sauce concentrate per se. I just forgot how concentrated it was. So the flavors might have come a little diluted in the process. Salt's good. Pepper's coming through. Seems good. It's actually pretty good consistency. Yeah. I actually usually put cumin in here as well, and I think that's in there. And I put, like I said, mustard seeds, garlic, onions, oregano. Alright, the milk is boiling, the pasta and everything's nice and absorbed. I'm just going to scrape the bottom a little so it doesn't get too stuck on there, without splashing too much milk outside of the pot. Much better. Alright, and then the oven's almost preheated. I'm going to top it off with some more broccoli bits, again for the crunch. I am a texture girly, and I love a good crunch. We'll put the cheese on top. I've got some mozzarella somewhere in the fridge as well. And I think since again I've diluted everything so much, I want to add it. Or maybe we just don't have mozzarella, which is also fine. I do have the string cheese if I want cheese. So we'll mix of pepperjack and shredded cheddar that has been tossed in smoked pepper. And that was the beef of the preheating being completed. So hopefully we should be having dinner in another 15-20 minutes. It's not either mac. I mean, it's definitely cheese, but it's not mac. Well, it's actually looking really good. In case you were wondering what I'm looking at, it is this. I think you can see that. In case you need a tilted angle. Also, because I need to do a milkiness test. That's what it looks like, which is hydrate. Hey Google, stop timer. Alright, so this is what it looks like. Very yumptious, scrumptious, yumptious. Bon appetit.